Good morning. There we go. Good morning and happy Father's Day, Sunday. Happy Father's Day to the fathers, all of the fathers and the stepfathers and the godfathers and the grandparent fathers. Everyone that is involved in raising a child. Happy Father's Day to you. So, just checking in on my way to church, and a couple things I just wanted to mention. I just wanted to see, how are things growing in your yards? How are they growing? Are you seeing wildlife? Are you seeing bees, butterflies, hummingbirds? Do you have Baltimore Oriole food out for them? And let's see what else. Are you protecting your berries of all sorts? Your strawberries, your blueberries, your service berries, your cherries. Are you thinning out your orchard trees to make sure the fruit is not close together and touching, or going to be damaged by being close together? Also, one reason that we thin the trees is because the fruit gets so heavy, they actually could snap. The branches can snap off in heavy rains or winds or even hail. And hail, real quick, I want to talk about that. If you think there is a chance of hail, if you think there's a chance of severe weather coming up, even like just thunderstorms, it's a good idea to protect your like more delicate crops, like the peppers that might snap off. What else would be delicate? Okra, eggplant. I'm sure you guys would know what the more delicate plants would be. But if there is a chance of thunderstorms, okay, you may want to protect them. If it doesn't hail, it may just have super heavy rain, which is going to flatten your plants down. We just had hail like all through the state this past week, and people were posting pictures of their precious gardens full of hail. I mean, there was so much hail in some places it almost looked like snow. The ground was covered in ice balls. And a lot of crops are going to come back just fine. Tomatoes, they can take a beating. They will come back. Most of the root system underground is usually developed enough that it can come back. It can get rejuvenated. Lettuces and things like that, those will come back. Corn can usually take a beating and recover, especially this early in the season. So don't despair totally. It is terrible. Yes, it is terrible. But don't, if that were to happen to you, or if it happens again, don't be like frozen. And I don't mean it in an ironic way, but don't be frozen into inaction. Don't be so upset that you're not moving. So as soon as it stops, get the hail and the ice, the freezing stuff off your plants as carefully as possible, and away from their roots as carefully as possible, if you can. Now, if you're not at your home at the time, that's one thing. But if you have the capability, make sure that you get all the ice particles away from your plants as much as possible. If you could have covered them, think about covering them next time. Think about getting some hoops that you could easily install. Like tent posts are really great. Like the big tent posts are good. Small kid-sized tent posts are good because they're collapsible. They're easy to store. They're easy to get up in a quick hurry to put covers over to protect them. If you can stake your plants, please do. Like peonies, they do great with the rings. Tomatoes, you could stake tomatoes. You could stake peppers. Anything that's going to be flopping around. Delphiniums, you're going to want to stake those. Anything that might flop around in severe weather. And again, severe weather could be wind, heavy rain, and it could be hail, and it could be all of those within a matter of just a couple minutes. You know how Michigan gets. So I am so sad to see so many people with gardens covered in hail, and I feel the heartbreak. But before anyone just gives up, it doesn't mean that it's over. Let the plants, a lot of plants are going to recuperate and they're going to recover. So anyway, I just wanted to check in, say Happy Father's Day, remind you to try to cover your plants if you can. And like, when I say cover your plants, like if you've got vegetable gardens in raised beds, you could just keep the hoop structures there. Like, I'm talking about like the pipes or the whatever it is, the wires, whatever it is that you would place fabric over. You can keep all those structures in there. And then it's just a lot easier to flop over a frost cloth or plastic or something if you need to and clamp them down. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have an Instagram ready garden. It really doesn't matter, you know, what those look like, as long as your stuff is protected. You might just take branches from a tree and jam them in the ground around your tomatoes and then put like bug netting over it or something to protect your stuff. I don't care what it looks like. As long as you're growing good produce, who cares what it looks like? And, you know, and it's stuff that is good for your body and your brain and your mind. And you're looking fantastic. Your skin is clear and your thinking is clear because you're eating your fresh produce. Who cares what it looks like? It's funny because when I was reading a book about it called Undercover, and at first my brain was saying, ooh, that's kind of ugly, because she had some raised beds covered and some were not. And I thought, and then I was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Who cares what it looks like? Just protect your stuff if you can, and if you have the capability, if you have the advance notice, keep an eye on the weather. That's one of the main things for gardeners, is you have to kind of keep an eye on the weather and just be ready for almost anything to go on. So this last week has been about supports, and the week before that was about protection. And I think before that was watering, and before that was soil. So I've had various themes during the week. So if you want a little bit more information about those and you missed them, go backward a little bit, and you can see some of the things that I've got up there. Coming up is supports. I can't remember, but each week had a certain theme. So anyway, happy Father's Day. Protect what you value. Protect what you value. Protect what you value. Fences are friends. Hoops are not horrible. Bug netting is not boisterous. I don't know. Oh, just a quick update. My Brussels sprouts that I planted inside, I started inside. I hardened them off inside a mesh butterfly cage, and then I put them in the ground immediately, not looking for, looking around, making sure there were no cabbage moths around, and wrapped them up with bug netting. They are bug free. I am so excited. So far, knock on wood, they are bug free, no holes. They're growing well underneath the bug netting, and I think I might have to just make like a small cage and then grow Brussels sprouts, or grow broccoli, or grow cauliflower, cabbage, whatever else that I don't want the cabbage moths to get to. I'm gonna have to grow under bug netting. So I'll start them indoor. I will harden them off covered, because the thing is, you put your baby plants outside and you forget that there are cabbage moths that want to lay eggs right away. They see anything that resembles a cruciferous vegetable, they want to lay those eggs immediately and get their babies going, because they have families too. So if you harden them off without covering your cruciferous vegetables, you probably will end up with cabbage moth eggs on there somewhere. And those little buggers, those moths, will make it into the tiniest little opening that you might have in bug netting. So if you want to do it chemical free, you don't want to have to go out there and pick off the caterpillars or look for eggs by hand, then grow them in a protected space. So anyway, happy Father's Day again, 2023. I hope you can spend time with your family or your chosen family, and I hope, like my father passed away in 2004, I believe, and then my stepdad died in December of last year. We're having his memorial service next weekend. So if you do not have a father, or I was divorced when the kids were real little, so they have a biological dad, and one of my kids has a biological dad that lives in Canada. So what else? I'm trying to think of anything else situations. Oh, and I know grandparents. I know grandpas that are raising their grandchildren, and they are fathers. So whatever your situation is, I hope that you can honor the person who gave you life. I hope that you can honor the person who nurtures you, whether they're in contact or not. And I hope you can do something in their memory, if at all possible. And anyway, talk to you later.